Ship's log entry 10-34. Dracus lives. The feral creatures known as Tully's monsters somehow managed to retrieve Wendy MacDonald and Kodarzar from the Mind Flayer Dyson Sphere without killing the valuable Elderbrain General. This ensures that the current and profitable state of civil war will continue in the Far Realm. Along the way, Captain Slack Dumil's strike team uncovered some very interesting facts that could be leveraged for maximum brand synergy. Fact 1. The revanchist faction of the conflict is investing in a technology known as a Matryoshka brain. This hypothetical megastructure would effectively turn an entire star into a computer hive mind. Once this stellar engine is mastered, the processing power of the alien empire would be effectively infinite. In other words, Illithids would be able to turn an entire solar system into a single mind. Fact 2. The Berry Brainbuster was a complete success. Although this field test was unauthorized, the weaponization of the classified Berry project appears to have completed all of its target goals. The immense psychic might of a towering elder brain was reduced to mere psychic tremors, resulting in a complete defeat. This will have major ramifications if a Mind Flayer colony attempts to launch a gelato, shaved ice, or frozen yogurt startup. Fact 3. Many of the most dangerous operators in the Far Realm have been compromised. The Elderbrain, Dracus, will need to recover for a significant amount of time. Rommel, the experimental GIF hybrid, has been killed in action, and the fairy hybrid Wendy has been grounded. Only the angelic Admiral Grice, the creators of the mysterious Farmouth Cubes, and the dying beholder Yaush remain to rival Lickums for economic control of the sector. Luckily, Admiral Grice considers himself an ally of the Velvet Fox's initiative. The Farmouth architects are missing in action, and Yaush is dying at a seemingly irreversible rate. The wormhole engine is secure. Nothing can stop us now.
Quinn, I have a question for you. When I send you a TikTok, does it at all feel like you're playing Russian roulette?
There's a big risk factor that sometimes goes along with it, but I live for danger when it comes to TikTok. I know you have something you want to say, but I'm just going to note, when you scroll through TikTok, you'll get live streams. And every so often when I hit a live stream, it's like, this stream has sensitive content. Do you want to watch it? Every time I hit yes, and I'm terrified at what's going to happen, it's almost always Mortal Kombat, and that's why. But like one day I'm just like, I'm going to click in and it's just going to be like lizards devouring panda bears or something. Like it's just going to be something horrifying.
Yeah, I have to ask because I'm realizing as I send you TikToks with increasing frequency, there's like a 50% chance it's either going to be like, oh, this was a cute bunny I saw, or hey, this is someone's speculative horror about the flesh nodules that eat your emotions.
This
Yeah.
this is in my experience. Everyone who uses TikTok to like DM TikToks to people, that no one is consistent in the TikToks they send anyone. It's all just like, hey, here's the complete opposite ends of how I'm feeling today.
My girlfriend keeps sending me thirst traps of the Spot from Spider-Verse, and I don't really know what to do with this.
I thought you meant the Spot from Cool Spot, the video game, and I was like, I mean, if he's getting traction in the 2020s, I mean, good for him, because he hasn't been real popular in a while.
Well, maybe it's time for his comeback.
Last we left the adventure, on that note, you all learned Yaush's plan. Yaush's ice scheme, I think you were calling it, which is to steal the Rezubian and use the engine Trizzy's been building all season to save the galaxy, save the universe, but in the process make himself and the beholders like the heroes of all creation, so beloved, join galactic civilization, and then use that leverage basically to ice the mind flayers out, make themselves beloved, and make mind flayers the enemy of all sapient life. So that's not great. In return, Yaush is going to keep doing his thing eventually. He's got to unbury his brain, but I'm sure they'll get to that eventually. We're rejoining the crew. You're all on the Tully, and you're on your way back to the Rezubian. So there's a moment here to kind of discuss things before you get back to the ship. I think Cammy is going to take the Thumper back, just so you have all the ships available. But right now the scene is, Max, you're flying the Tully. Everyone else is here in the belly of this ship. Wendy and Cortazar are still unconscious, but what are you all talking about as you putter through space?
I would just like to say I love how this dovetails with like canonical Mind Flayer lore of having to go back in time to stop their empire from falling. It's the little details. I love it.
I'll note one quick mechanical thing before we get going. I know that last episode, at least Max, but I forgot who else got a level of exhaustion. But because Max is a ranger with the Deft Explorer feature, they can decrease their exhaustion by 1 during any short rest. So
nice.
They're recovering from that. But anyways, Max is just flying along, muttering some stuff to themselves about just like what's been happening. And they seem a bit on edge, almost like they're trying to push the Tully to go a little bit faster than it normally can and failing to do so because the Tully's not meant for speed. It's a puttering thing. Yeah.
Trizzy is running around the ship, trying to work out, sort of running around asking everyone, is there any way we can get a message back to the Rezubian before we get back there? Because I feel like, I know we've got Yaush under, is locked away and shut away, but can we get that room put under, ultra mega top level observation security or something? Because I feel like anything we can be doing to, really lock Yaush down just until we can get back is probably worthwhile.
According to sensors, you're out of range to send that message, but we'll be in shortly. So we will, after a little bit of conversation, you'll be in range to say that.
Max will say, hopefully they put the anime stuff that Yaush is watching on one of those filler episode marathons that's just there to pad out a season.
No, because
and it just doesn't go anywhere.
No, but if they've put them on a filler season, they're going to get bored watching and start going, maybe I make my scheme to get out of here. We need it to be all killer, no filler, so that they don't want to stop watching.
It depends. Sometimes the show will have better filler than the canon stuff.
Yeah, but are you willing to... that's not common. Are you willing to risk the Rezubian on the fact that whatever show Yaush is watching has a good filler arc happening?
I mean, I just think when Shmoku gets his license is better than anything else in that entire franchise. It informs a lot about the characters.
Yeah, but that's like a one in a million arc. You really want to run that risk, and that it's not like the 35 episode long, I'm gonna try and order some tofu, oops, they're out of tofu, I'll go try the other store, no, that one's out of tofu too arc.
I think we gotta pivot Yaush away from anime and more onto true crime podcasts. That'll probably take up his time for a bit.
But again, that's just gonna be free advice on how to get away with crime.
I just Googled best anime filler arc just to make a joke about one of these shows. Can I say number 2 on Google's list? Haruhi Suzumiya's Endless 8. You're insane. You are literally certifiably insane. It's the craziest thing anyone's ever said.
The second best of anything, just...
Actually, look, I'm gonna say, hot take, Yu-Gi-Oh's Waking the Dragon arc is legitimately great.
Let's get some bounce in here, Everyone loves the bounce.
I did like the bounce, but I was also 12 when I watched that.
There you go. How old's Yaush?
Oh my god.
Maybe 13. I don't know. How old do the beholders get? I don't know.
Matters. He loves the bounce.
How long beholders live?
I feel like it's quite long.
100.
100? That's younger than I thought.
Feels quite short.
Yeah, I thought it was longer.
Do they just deflate?
Yeah, apparently their eye stalks lose power, is what it says over time. So that's
they get glaucoma.
I guess that at some point before 100, like, you run the risk of, oops, I dreamed up another me that was younger than me and killed me. Like, the risk of that gets higher the longer you live.
Oh no, I'm young and hot again. Oh no, I'm dead.
Saint Cecilia is gonna kind of look out the window and say, like, I just feel like vibes-wise, we're going to get back to the ship, and Yaush has already gotten out. I have already prepared myself for this scenario.
It's not a bad idea to prepare for the worst, but I'm doing what I can.
You're right. Yaush wanted to be on our ship from the moment I think we commenced our boarding action. It seems like it was his plan all along. Well, Beaufort's saying this. He's also like taking measurements of Wendy's wings to try to figure out how he can make a prosthetic for her. After he finishes that, he kind of dusts off his hands and goes, I think we should try to analyze what we know about the immediate data we received before all communication cut down to try to figure out what went wrong if we have to effectively save the world harder than him.
Well, all we really know is that it seems like all of the markets started crashing, and then communications went. And it is impossible to know with any certainty how long of a string of events led to that happening. Like, maybe we just show up a day before the markets crashed and go like, hey, everyone be a little chill with your trades, and maybe that's fine. Maybe we've got to go back like 20 years and like stop some economic policies taking place. It is really difficult to know how far back we've got to go to preempt a market crash we know nothing really about other than all the numbers went down and then nothing.
Can we sabotage that black hole drive? Isn't that what he needs to go back?
I mean, we can sabotage the black hole drive with the understanding that we are throwing away the only chance we have of either going home or going home before the world ended back home. And that's not necessarily a problem, but that's a thing that we need to consider, is we can stop Yaush fucking around with time, but that does mean everyone on the ship's got to be okay with we don't ever go home, or prevent maybe the deaths of all of our loved ones back home. Like, that might be a thing. Like, we might be able to go back to before everyone we know is dead, and that's gonna be a hard sell to throw that away.
Frankly, I don't consider it an option to throw it away.
Like, I've not got much to go back for, but I get that is not everyone's deal.
Yeah, I'm just not super familiar with what would happen causally. I mean, causality 101 was one of those electives I kind of skipped during cadet school, so I don't really have quite the training on how to negotiate the situation if we are going to go back in time.
Yeah, do you want to roll religion?
I sure can.
Would you? Oh, that okay.
The resident celestial rolls a natural 20 on.
We're gonna have to retcon what you just said, Max.
Throw in a 21 from Trizzy.
I got a 16, but I don't think that matters.
A 21 and 21, a crit. So I think, yeah, Max, instead of saying you don't remember, I think you remember exactly.
I will say that Max slept through the class because they already knew the answers is going to be the explanation in this case.
I don't remember what happened. Wait, no, yes, I do. I remember with crystal clarity.
Oh, wait, I actually taught that class.
No, you say that. There was actually a class during college that I ended up having to teach because I knew the subject matter better than my teachers on a few occasions. So also that was just, anyways, but yes, Max is just going to be, let's retcon that back. Max, like, funnily enough, one of the classes I had to take back at cadet school was about causality under the presumption that if our work on the Ard runners got advanced enough, you might accidentally travel through time and how to negotiate that. So let me see what I remember. So, and I'm going to. There's a few ways I think this could go, Austin, but I'm not sure what was the correct answer about how causality works here.
So in the D&D universe, time magic, chronomancy is totally a thing. One of the best spells in the game is time stop. So this is an established thing with rules. I will say there's a whole species of creature, the Inevitables, who are all about time travel. Their whole thing is like trying to keep people from breaking the timeline. I try not to dip too much into time travel stuff because it can get confusing. I've only done it before because of characters' backstories involving time travel. This time I'm doing it kind of as an homage to Star Trek, which often deals in time travel. I don't know if you want me to say if that's like too much looking behind the curtain at the wizard, but yeah. So the way that this is basically going to work is that if you go back and just change a little thing, the Inevitables, these kind of like super angelic robots almost, these otherworldly mechanical beings, can kind of clean up causality. That's their whole job. They're kind of like the Langoliers from Stephen King's The Langoliers. Like they're like creatures that clean up time detritus, so that you can kind of do what Yaush is thinking, go back in time and save people. But too big of a change can draw their ire. They might attack you if you just fuck things up too much. The best way to do this and not cause a timeline split, because like the chief concern here is you go back in time, you save your friends and family, and then when you come back to the future, the friends and family you saved are not yours from your timeline. Like your friends and family are still dead in that other timeline, and the ones you saved are like some other version of you's friends and family, which is not ideal. To make those match, you want to get them as close as possible so that the Inevitables can kind of tidy that up and make it all make sense. So what I would say is this big blackout in time communication, or this big blackout in communication between Soul and the Far Realm, if when you go back, you not only save the world, but cause some kind of big blackout, that maybe this has been the same universe the whole time. Maybe you're already living in the timeline you saved, and this is a stable time loop.
Okay. So we've got to make something plausibly, deniably, maybe this is what we lived through in the first loop. We don't know this isn't what always happened.
Literally, yes. You need to engineer a situation in where the blackout that happened in episode 1 was you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like there's other things like, you know, if there's an opportunity to stop, let's say Yaush from establishing the baseline tech for Formith, can't stop that because that would cause too much of a deviation in the timeline, unless you're, I don't know, somehow powerful enough to defeat an Inevitable, you know?
We literally need to create a grandfather paradox so that things stabilize.
Yeah, with the crit, I'm telling you explicitly that unless you want a challenge rating 23 kind of creature coming after you, you kind of have to do a very specific thing. Which that could have been a fun surprise because they are wildly powerful and fun to attack with.
They sure are.
Yeah, you needed to save the world in such a way as that no one ever knows, which is the opposite of Yaush's plan, which is to make himself the most celebrated hero of all time.
I can't believe the Inevitables are like, look, the foundation of reality is kind of crumbling apart, but we're not gonna just let you white out this part and fix it. No.
Yeah, they're persnickety is what I would say about the Inevitables.
They're a bunch of Discord moderators.
If you can't fix it with a little bit of whiteout and rewriting, if you have to like scrap the page and start over, that's too big of a change.
You try not to get ban-hammered.
All right, well, I suppose it's weird because like right now, all right, I don't want to delve too deep into like possibilities. We should hopefully get there as soon as we can, but yeah, we'll have to, if we are able to go back, then we'll have to definitely come up with a plan to, as transparently as possible, save everyone and make sure that we don't get credit for or any knowledge of us being there.
Don't worry. I've got a plan. It's going to involve me taking the blame for some stuff, but like, what if I go on social media and I like make a, like, pay to have a verified account on social media and then, like, pretend to be some big corporation and say something like, we're making all our products free. And then that can, like, tank all the markets go down. And then I go, lol, sorry, just a prank. And then they all come back up. And what we experienced was just, like, a temporary prank, bro.
Right. You get one of those Gru check marks on your account, and then you just sort of do a little impersonation.
Yeah,
that could work.
Yeah. We just, like, the all the things going down is just, like, it took a while to, like, restart the servers after my epic prank, bro.
Footnote for this episode. 12 years ago when this episode was recorded, someone did something very funny with insulin prices.
Yeah. That was old at the time that we're recording this. It's gonna be even older by the time you hear it, but...
All right, so the Tully is within radio range of the Resubian. You want to open up a channel, Trizzy?
Yeah, Trizzy's gonna open up a channel. Hey, Resubian, we got anyone answering hails at the moment?
Yes, Engineer Trizzy, it is I, Captain Slack Dumille. Hello.
Cool. Do you know for certain where Yaush is at the moment?
I do. In fact, I have some news for you.
You do? You do?
Unfortunately, our guest, Yaush the Beholder, suffered a seizure event and has been taken into the medical wing for treatment by Dr. Joven.
Is he definitely still inside of the medical bay at this moment? Can you tell that for certain?
I will check, Engineer Trizzy. My understanding is that the patient is now stable.
Okay, as soon as you know where Yaush is, we need to activate Pineapple Protocol. We need to lock the entire ship down. Yaush cannot move around the ship.
Beaufort's gonna nudge his head into frame. If Yaush is unconscious, wake him up.
I am not a doctor, so I cannot suggest a course of treatment to Dr. Joven, but I will communicate your desires.
As captain, I feel like you might need to instruct the doctor in this one case. We feel there is a very real risk of Yaush using We believe there is a very real risk of Yaush enacting a plan any moment now that could involve rewriting the fabric of time in order to make beholders a supremacist species that has control of the universe. It is imminent, and we need to lock the ship down regardless of what the doctor-based advice is.
When you start talking about rewriting reality, I think Captain Dubiel says...
Trizzy, when you get back, can you check into the psych bay for me just to get a quick checkup?
No, Captain, I'm going to admit something to you now because I need you to take this seriously. I created an engine that can get us home. I know this is against your explicit orders. I've created an engine that can get us home. Yaush has been planning to get onto the Resubian this entire time to take advantage of that ship. We need to lock the Resubian down.
All right, it comes out. Everybody knows now.
Yep.
There's a big moment of silence. The captain says after that passes...
Should we wait for you to board the Resubian before locking down the entire ship? If we activate Pineapple Protocol now, you will not be able to board.
If you can confirm that Yaush is in the medical base still, please lock the ship down, at least until we can get back. We can lift it to board us back on if we have to. Make sure that Yaush is not able to move around that ship if you can confirm Yaush is in medical bay.
I've just received word from Dr. Joven that Yaush is unconscious and has been returned to Dot's room after being successfully stabilized.
Okay, can you confirm if there is anyone currently down in my area in the depths of the ship?
You know what? Yeah, the captain can do that. He scans the whole ship and says...
I can confirm that there are no life forms aboard the ship which are unaccounted for, Engineer Trizzy.
Okay, I would ask that you enact the Pineapple Protocol right now. We can deal with if it needs to be lifted for us to enter the ship, that is fine, but until we are back, please lock down that ship as solidly as possible.
Question. The captain's ability to scan for minds on the ship, does that only account for intelligent minds?
You mean would it pick up a rat? I think...
I'm wondering if it would pick up, like, the little spectators a beholder can make.
That's a great question. I guess nature is the role there. I don't know if you know that off the top of your head.
Alkali
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say, like, they had to pick a berry. Is berry an
17.
intelligent life?
Yeah, I think with that, I'll tell you that yes, the captain could detect a spectator. I think as you get down to like insect level, that it would essentially be white noise. Like the captain isn't aware of every single rat and ladybug that has snuck aboard, but a spectator has like enough thoughts going, like, even if it's just like kill, that he could pick up on that. So 17, I'm going to tell you there are no spectators aboard.
Okay. We should also prep Mythical Bay because we do have one injured person and one buffoon who I think tripped. I don't actually remembered, but one person might need emergency help.
Yeah.
Yep, Wendy and Cortazar will be put in med bay when you get back. Can I actually get perception rolls from everybody?
Sure. Perception.
24.
20.
24.
With a 24 and 24, Trizzy and Max, both of you look at the scanners. Both of you were extremely literate with these devices, and you see pings on the radar from IFF readings. That's an identification, friend or foe. So there are other ships out here, is what I'll tell you right now with 24s. So specifically, they are coming up as foe outside of the Tully. There's like a squadron, so like 6 enemy ships.
Yeah, we need to get on the ship and get this ship either ready to defend against an onslaught or to run.
Okay.
This is suddenly the most important ship in the galaxy.
I'm trying to debate. Let's think here. So like there's us in the Tully, there's Cammy in the Thumper, and we also have pings from other ships approaching us that are indicating foe.
Correct. There are 6 ships which are appearing like red on your radar, as opposed to the Thumper, which is like blue on your radar.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I will say that at this point, Max is going to activate their pilot senses to give themselves basically some bonuses if they have to do any sort of evasive maneuvers or other shenanigans coming up here as the signals get closer, while just being on the ready. They might say, do we want to hail them at all, or do we want to just try to figure out who's approaching?
I mean, I'm going to take a wild stab at the dark that this Yaush's plan is happening, and that they're coming for the ship.
This could be Yaush's plan activating, or they might have, I don't know how they've been monitoring Yaush's medical state, but he was saying if he died, they'd be alerted. And he just had a seizure and had to go to a medical bay. They might be aware that he is dying.
Yeah, neither of these is ideal.
If we can maybe assure them that he is alive, and that we're treating him to the best of our ability, that might alleviate the situation.
All right, I'll pull him up on comms. Let's see what happens. And Max tries to, use the controls to establish communications with the nearest foe that seems to be on radar.
All right, you open communications. You get a message in Undercommon. Do you speak Undercommon, or does anyone aboard?
I speak Undercommon.
All right, Trizzy, you hear the message come from the comms on the Tully and say that this is a member of General Dracus's fleet requesting permission to switch IFF designations.
Interesting. Who are we speaking with?
The person identifies himself as a pilot for Dracus and just tells you, I am Dracus, we are all Dracus, Dracus is me.
At this point, I'm like popping up a little data pad, and I'm Cecilia is starting to write something in it.
All right.
Is there an IFF reading for like the enemy of my enemy is currently allied with me?
I don't know. Like, so IFFs are a real thing. I didn't just make this up. This is how like you identify like targets in a for missiles and stuff. It's like some people are marked as friendly and some people are not. So there's probably some kind of designation for like a neutral party, but he like specifically he's trying to like exchange friend codes with you so that mind flayers will see you.
We're gonna street pass now.
So generally, I understand what you're saying. I feel like the only thing that I'm trying to assess here, and maybe there's a role for this, is to know whether doing this isn't going to in any way, like, for example, lead the Rezubian, who are currently under Pineapple Protocol, to go, friendly ships, we should trust them, no questions asked, etc. Like, how much are we suggesting about these ships by doing this?
I think this is a history roll to understand the greater context, is what I would say.
History.
Yeah.
I can do that. 13. Narrowly avoided a botch with my plus 11.
See, I took the botch this time with a 2.
Okay, so the group fails and we have a botch. Here's what I'll say is that I'll give you a little bit, which is that there will be consequences, but with the botch, I'm going to make the consequences more severe. So basically, turning them down will be bad, and also agreeing will be bad. That doesn't seem nice and fair, but also there are good things to having this guy on your side, or also being seen as an enemy of the Mind Flayers. I know this seems like an unfair choice, but like this is one of those things. Is like the optics are not great, but also having a fleet to defend you, pretty good. The botch is just going to be that the optics are going to be more extreme than I was planning in each direction.
Yeah.
Being seen as turning down Drakus will be more harshly punished, and being seen as being on Drakus' side.
This is some Alpha Protocol shit right here. It's just like there's a positive and negative to either choice.
Trizzy's going to put the call on and be like, we're just going to be on hold for like 2 seconds. We'll be right back. We're just going to find our friend code. We'll be right back.
Would it surprise you that Alpha Protocol, low-key, one of my favorite games?
I love it too. So
yeah, Trizzy turns around and goes, interpersonal relationships and dynamics are not my thing. I would appreciate all of your input. They want to swap friend codes.
Optics of allying with Drakus, damaging potentially to the peace accords. However, the benefit is a fleet of ships to protect us. That said, if Yaush is enacting a plan on the ship, I don't think his armada is going to come in and blow him up at that point, because his goal is to capture the ship.
I will throw out there that if the choices are, have a bunch of extra resources right now that help us prevent, like, the rewriting of time in the favor of the beholders, but the optics are kind of bad, versus, let time get rewritten, but, like, we have clean optics on our hands. Like, maybe we gotta get a little greasy.
What I mean is I'm not sure what they can provide in stopping Yaush on the ship currently.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, but the problem is like, look, I'm just going to put it this way. If all of those other ships hanging out around the Rezubian, decide to pull their guns and go take down the Pineapple Protocol so that Yaush can go do their thing, or we blow your ships up, like, there are things that could happen where it might still be beneficial to not be the one not combat-built ship floating outside of the Rezubian.
So, Austin, I said I was writing a message. I want to send a message to Admiral Grice, and basically give him the information of like, hey, the Rezubian is in trouble. Drakus is doing this stuff, and fill him in on the plans from Drakus. I understand that was like a thing that we were not supposed to do, but I'm using a feature that I didn't mention before from the linguist feat I took, where I could create written ciphers that others can't decipher unless they teach them or they succeed on a DC 25 intelligence check.
Holy shit. What a Chekhov's gun. This is your first downtime when you had the blood milkshake full of nanobots.
Yeah, and Grice and I fucking mind melded, so he knows. So I can create a cipher that would be very specific just to me that Grice should be able to like piece together.
Oh
And
my
hope
god,
is,
you
like,
really did.
Like my hope is that Grice gets this and understands, like, okay, I know the Rezubian suddenly is now designated as a Drakus thing, but there's a reason for that, and we could maybe the heat won't come off of that, basically.
That's a fucking genius plan. Look at you. Hell yeah.
I kind of want to try to solve this puzzle that Cece's making, though. I'd very much like to do that.
I can create you puzzles later.
Yeah. Well, look, I think you have solved some of Austin's puzzle. That's fucking great.
Yeah, there's no role for that. That's just a feature you have. So,
Yeah.
It sounds like you are going to swap friend codes with the Mind Flayers, but you are going to put out a coded message to someone very high up in the Resistance who will let everyone know that you haven't actually, like, gone, you haven't deserted, you haven't become a turncoat. So that's...
We are doing something with bad optics because the alternative is way fucking worse than you're imagining.
All right, I think that works perfectly. All the ship indicators on your radar turn blue, and the Mind Flayer pilot says in Undercommon again, says to you, Trizzy, that they've noticed some increased beholder activity in the area, so they're just going to guard their Rezubian at a distance. They actually probably ask, like, at what distance should we, circle? Just like, we're gonna be out here running interference. Where do you want us?
Honestly, anything you can do that keeps like a barrier of distance away from the Rezubian and like keeps a perimeter going is great for us right now. We need to just keep the Rezubian in a space of its own for a little while.
All right. Yeah, perfect. So now you have a bunch of guards. If this breaks out into a dogfight, you can approach the Rezubian. They will drop Pineapple Protocol so you can dock and then put it back up. Only the team can move around the ship is the way the Pineapple Protocol works. And you all can get off the Tully. And what do you want to do? So you're on the ship now, unless there's something else you want to establish. You're gonna put Wendy in the infirmary, Cortazar in the infirmary. Yaush is locked in. I guess it's Yaush's room now. I keep calling it Dot's room. Dot moved out. It's Yaush's room now.
For Trizzy, priority number one is go and talk to the captain and just put all of her cards on the table about what the situation is. Like, consequences be damned, the captain needs to know what we're playing with here.
Yeah, I think we should let's do that group scene first. You're all called to the bridge. Captain Slack Dumiel is in his big tank, and he says,
Tully's monsters, I am both enraged and confused, but I'm willing to listen.
Captain, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is all on me. I did this without any of the rest of the crew of the team being aware. This is entirely on me. Until we went on the mission we have just gotten back from, none of them knew what was going on. So I'm just gonna say it. Despite your orders, I have been working on a way to get the Rezubian home. I created an engine that, as it turns out, could not only warp us home safely physically across space, but also, as it turns out, across time. Which may be a factor, because everything we know back home might be gone, and maybe the only chance of going back home is to go back home back in time and stop the end of Soul. That, I have made preparations that the ship is strong enough to survive that trip, that this is something we could do any time. But that is also why Yaush is here. Yaush is here having discovered through Formeth, and through the spying on the ship, and has discovered that this exists, and basically wants to use the Rezubian to go back and rewrite time to make beholders the primary species. And if that news gets out further than Yaush, I suspect there will be other groups who will also want the Rezubian. Right now we have an incredibly desirable ship that could be used for a lot of different purposes, and we either need to work out how to permanently not make Yaush using this ship a potential problem, or if we're going to use it ourselves, and if so, what we use it for.
Wow, I actually had never thought about that. The thing you just said, Laura, is like broadcasting that you have the most valuable ship in the universe and then standing back, Godzilla.gif, let them fight. That's extremely tasty.
It's an option on the table.
Captain Dumil, though, will say to your summary that
we do not know how far to go back or where or what to do when we get there, so using it ourselves is not currently a great option.
You are correct. We were talking about that on the way back. At the time when I designed the ship to jump, it was under the understanding that home was probably fine and that we just, that we could just hop back there physically and it'd be fine. Which, obviously, things are a little more complicated, not knowing how far back we would have to hop to undo whatever nebulous event happened.
You know who does seem to know? Yaush. Captain, could you pull that information from his mind?
Strike Team member Beaufort Gubbins, that is an intriguing suggestion. It would be highly unethical, although I can already see your retort that ethics don't matter when stakes these high. I would also remind you that you are currently on legally thin ice, considering your previous antics with a dismembered head. So a lot of things to consider here. I would, before crossing that ethical line, suggest a more traditional interrogation of Yaush upon his ability to do so. We cannot push his medical situation too far without killing him, which would result in all of our deaths and the destruction of the Resubian. So, I will alert all of you once he is in a shape to discuss. Then, if that fails, we can entertain a more invasive procedure.
Yeah, Beaufort will just nod to that.
it's interesting here because Trizzy just admitted to doing something she was told not to do, and we know Beaufort also did something he wasn't supposed to do. But you all committing to the peace mission last episode, I think, has stabilized the situation somewhat. That's not like there's never going to be any consequences for any of this. But if the version you came back covered in Dracus's blood, I feel like is the one where the captain starts shooting people out the airlock. It's just like,
all right, which one of you is going to go out first? Eeny, meeny, miny, you.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed it, but like if this ends with Beaufort saying, I did everything, it's all my fault, I feel like you get taken away in handcuffs, and then you don't play Beaufort anymore, is how that would have ended there.
Can I reveal what our plan was going to be if that occurred?
Absolutely.
I was going to be Gronk. We also spit out King Humongous, which is just a tantalizing idea for me, but Gronk felt like the better character.
Yeah, in fact, what I want to do before Yaush wakes up is 4 little scenes here as everyone waits. Trizzy, we're going to start with you and Gronk. Everyone else, feel free to roll hit dice. We haven't long rested, so you don't get your spell slots back or anything, but you should be at full health. We'll see what goes on, but just for the record, that is where we are. Trizzy, where do you go? Because I want you to have a conversation with Gronk, who is now a completely alive person thanks to the spell Awaken, and you made some choices about Gronk last episode.
Yeah. I think Trizzy is in a somewhat uncharacteristic move for her, not just going to default to down in the grim, dark depths of the ship, and is going to go head to the bar. Just somewhere where there are people and, like, sociable things happen, where people socialize generally.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, so Andre's place, the ship's bar, you can summon Gronk out of the light, dispenser. What do we call that? Like the little module that makes him appear. Because, I mean, this is, remember the Chow from Sonic Adventure 2? I think there's a version of this where you are very callous about this man, and he becomes extremely disgruntled. But you've been nothing but thoughtful.
Yeah. So Trizzy's gonna summon Gronk out and be like, "Hey, sorry about that. I did not stop to think about the fact that everything was a bit intense in there. You doing all right?"
Yeah, hello, my friend Trizzy. I am doing a lot better now. The blood didn't follow me into the projector.
Yeah. I'm glad. That would be a very... I don't like the thought of blood following you in there. That would be weird and gross.
Yeah, I never had much thought about things being gross before. It's not really a logical concern unless they're a vector for pathogens, but I can't be infected by a biological agent. So why should I even care? It's weird that I care.
Well, I mean, look, sometimes things are just gross despite not being actively harmful to you. Like, good example, Trizzy points over to one of the ice cream machines in Andre's place and goes, "That ice cream machine has hot dog with garlic relish and pickle juice dipped ice cream, and that's not going to hurt me, but I don't want to eat it."
I don't know anything about any of those flavors. Can I taste?
I don't know. Should we go find out?
Just a light goblin putting its mouth on the nozzle and just giving itself hot dog ice cream.
Yeah.
Is this a Pinocchio situation? Does Gronk become more of a real boy, or is he always going to be like a technological thing?
I don't know the answer to that, and I don't think Trizzy knows the answer either.
Wow. That's an interesting question. So I think Gronk is like guzzling ice cream and saying like, my sensors indicate the chemical composition of saltiness and tanginess and sweetness, but I don't know that I'm experiencing it in the same way as you. Is there anything you can do to help me taste it more?
Okay, how do I... Okay. I think I've got this. Andre, can we get whipped up like a comparing platter of like the thing the ice cream is based on and the ice cream in a couple of combos?
Anything for you, Trizzy.
Thank you. Keep that machine. I'll keep that machine working every day. Even your gross hot dog one.
Andre goes to make a tasting platter. Do you want to roll maybe your proficiency, because this is your whole thing, to like make some upgrades to Gronk to make the sensors more sensitive or delicate?
Yeah, because I think the way that like Trizzy's going about this, other than like trying to mechanically help, is to be like, hey, these things share flavors but in different forms, and like maybe that's a way of being like, this is similar to this, and trying to make that work. Let's have a look. So with proficiency 16.
Yeah, I was looking for 15, so that works. I don't think with like a wrench and pliers you can suddenly create like a indistinguishable from flesh like goblin creature, but I think you can tune the technology so much that it's like Westworld, adjacency. We were actually talking about Westworld earlier, but it's like at a first glance you can make this person pretty much indistinguishable. Here's a thought.
Yeah.
While you're rooting around in the projector, while you're making changes, I think maybe Gronk flickers and suddenly like gets like a big arm and a small head or something. Like it changes his physical appearance, and he says, "Oh, am I allowed to touch any of those controls?"
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry, I realize it's probably sorry. Force of habit. Didn't think about it. Is there anything that either I can tweak with or that I can help you tweak?
I was just thinking maybe just checking some things out, just trying them on.
Yeah.
Like a dress up montage.
I mean, go ahead. Let me talk you through it. Definitely. Let's fashion montage. What does Gronk want to be?
You know, like in a character creator in a video game where you can like change everything, but it's like set in a scene. It's not like a blank void, like in Fallout 4 where you're in the bathroom.
Oh,
or something.
yeah.
I'm imagining you two sitting at the bar, trying different flavors of ice cream, while Gronk cycles through like elf, ogre, dragon. This is like at the bar, it's just changing size and shape and getting weird with the sliders, doing Monster Factory stuff.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And in between each hit of the random button being like, oh yeah, I can see the difference between ice cream that is an amalgamation of the sweet and saltiness of hot dog ice cream versus hot dog with textures and separated flavors.
Yeah, you're like calibrating like physically, emotionally, spiritually, all the different elements with Gronk. And most importantly, it's completely selfless. Like, this is not going to give you a bonus to anything. This is not helping, Trizzy as a character sheet. I think
it actively took a thing away from my character sheet.
I think the body that Gronk would want is like his whole experience has been on this Illithid ship. He was originally programmed to be an Illithid. Dot's whole thing was helping the Illithid project. I think he would want an Illithid body. Do you think it's a goblin Illithid, or like how close do you think he feels to the goblin identity, or does he want to get away from that?
I feel like he probably wants to get away from that. Like, I feel like there is a pretty strong degree of, whether it's conscious or not, I don't know, but I think having something of his own in his identity.
All right. I was thinking of the Illithid hybrids we haven't used. We did an angel-bodied one. What about a demon-bodied Illithid?
Oh, demon Illithid is good.
So it's two little goblins sitting at a bar. You look away to drink your malt. You're just having a big sip with your best gal in the soda shop. You turn back around. There is like a fucking huge hulking demon with like a squid face. I think that's what it is. And also, do you think he still wants to be called Gronk? That was the name you gave him.
Well, I mean, I think that is a question that Trizzy probably asks asks out loud during this montage at some point. Is just like, are you okay with Gronk as a name, or is that a thing you would want to change?
It does remind me of being forced to do things I don't want to do, which is not ideal. But I don't know that I have one ready. Maybe I need some time to think about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't need one ready. Just if at some point you've got one and you'd rather Gronk not be the name, just let me know and it's done.
If anyone has an idea, let me know. This is not me playing coy. I am exploring the space at the same time.
Kyle.
I didn't come. What?
Kyle.
You come back. He's punched a hole in every wall in the diner.
Also, since the start of this season, I have now become aware of Gronkowski. Is that his name? The
Yes.
football person? And the only reason I didn't even come across Gronkowski himself. There was some story doing the rounds on social media not that long ago about like someone whose kid.
They rizzed up baby Gronk.
Yeah, baby Gronk. They want their kid to be a big, they're the next big deal in football. We're going to call them baby Gronk. Despite them being like 16 or something.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to leave this whole conversation in, because this is about a child being abused by their father. This is someone who's basically...
Oh, I've missed some of that story then. My point being, that was the first I was like, oh, Gronk is a name.
Yeah, no, there's this guy who decided his young child was going to be the next Gronkowski and is basically forcing him to do it and like making him work out 10 hours a day to be like unnaturally athletic. And then he had an interaction with an adult woman where people were saying she was rizzing up baby Gronk. That's the meme. I don't know how else to explain what just happened.
I have no context for what the fuck you're talking about.
That's infinitely more than my knowledge, which was I saw the phrase baby Gronk and went, oh, Gronk. That's a football thing. You were right.
I'm sorry about all the information I just unloaded on you all. But yes.
Sometimes you just gotta share the Gronk lore.
The Gronk lore. Yeah. What if he changes his name to Tom Brady? Is that better? I don't know why. I'm just really feeling. I'm gonna be bomb tatey. I'm gonna.
All your other bomb tadies are just imitaties.
God damn it! I hate this. All right. So Trizzy, you spend time at Andre's place with Gronk. He is now a huge demon mind flayer. He feels strong and confident, terrifying and powerful. Probably is going to be named Bomb Trady next time we see him. Who's up next? Max. You have a robot that I want you to talk to.
Yes, I was actually thinking about having that conversation, whether it was going to be like Max and Cammy or just Max with the robot. So either way is fine.
Yeah. So to remind everyone, there was a robot inside of the Four-Myth pool where it was drawing like people's aspects from.
It was hooked up to the mainframe that was drawing from the pool. Yeah.
This robot is inactive, but still somewhere inside of it are things that could be interacted with. How is this looking? Set me up this scene.
I assume that what has happened is that Max has probably gotten Cammy to help hook up some sort of terminal up to the same ports that the robot was hooked up to the other mainframe, effectively, in order to establish some sort of interface to work with them.
Okay, so it has the USB. You have the USB adapter.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
All right.
I'm trying to think of like some like space SCSI, some type of connector port there. It's like, but yes,
this is an old robot, so it's probably like the red, blue, yellow, like cables for a CRTV.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's old tech, and then Max is just trying to interface with it and try to ask questions of it and try to understand a little bit more about, well, who it is and everything else. So after some futzing, Max decides to just try to type like hello ? And just see if there's a response from it.
Yeah, actually, to see if there's a response, can I get a roll from you? I'm looking at the skills, and I want to say medicine, even though it's a robot, because in the D&D universe, robots are warforged, and they do have, anatomy, and they can get healing spells and stuff.
I'm wondering if Max using the spell Mending at all can help with this, and out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think that would give you advantage.
All right. So let's see that. Wow. Max rolled a natural 18 and a natural 19 there, so a 22 is the result there.
Yeah, perfect. So you can use Mending to close up some of the superficial like cracks in any of like chips or in the motherboard or whatever, and after looking it over, doing some splicing of some cables. Oh no, it's a SCART. Not
SCART.
That.
Oh shit.
No.
No.
You hook it up to another console that you can type into. You type hello, and after a moment, you get a response. Just hello? ?
Are you awake? I guess you are. I don't know why I'm still typing this, but
yeah. Delete. What up?
delete. I believe your name is Ed? ? Send.
That sounds right.
Do you remember anything that has happened in the past several weeks?
Time doesn't have much meaning to me. All I know is that I was suffering in captivity and you freed me. I was a prisoner and now I am at peace.
When did you become at peace?
When you pulled us out of the pool.
It's no problem. How did you get trapped there, though?
The Four-Myth technology created by an alien species called the Surlon. That's Psurlon.
Oh, these fuckers.
These guys, I remember them.
Everyone's Googling. Yeah, when the 4-myth arc ended on Away Team, I said, oh, we haven't revealed the creators, huh? And then now you were learning about this.
How did the Surlon use you for that?
They're building an army of heroes to replace conventional troops. I was a hero in my time, many millennia ago.
So was Yaush the Beholder working with the Surlon, or did they steal you from the Surlon?
Yaush stole the 4-myth technology from the Surlon while trying to find the source of the calamity in Seoul.
Do you know what the calamity was in Seoul?
No, but the Surlon do.
Is it possible to communicate with the Surlon to get that information?
Anything is possible. The 4-myth installation you destroyed can no longer be used to contact them, but you could always go to their homeworld. And the robot sends over, the galactic coordinates if you want to go on a mission to talk to the creators of 4-myth and try to get the information you're looking for about the destruction of Seoul. That is certainly an option.
Is there anything that you'd want me to do with this chassis after we're done here?
Perhaps donate it to a museum?
Like, Max will think for a moment. As opposed to returning you to the Surlon?
Oh, definitely not that. And the robot sends you information for like Valaman Aeronautics, aviation museum on Earth or something, and is like, they'll know why this is anything.
Understood. Is there? I doubt there's anything I could answer if you had any questions for me, but I will say that despite some, despite how Yaush was leveraging things, I do want to thank you for the help that you provided.
It is in our nature to help people, you and I.
If his soul passed on, are we talking to like his pancreas right now? His like robot pancreas?
I'm assuming it's just like, my thought is this. It's like we're talking to, it's like, imagine if your computer had a soul and it went away, but there's still data on the hard drive and an IO to interface with it. Like, and it's still, because the Warforged is what it is, it's still able to parse and interact, even though it's like, listen, this is just the remains here.
Got it, robot pancreas.
You deleted the AI, but you can still go to the root directory and find the DCIM folder and go there's my screenshots.
There you go. Right, exactly. You could go there. We could install a bootloader, or maybe we could install. I wonder if you can. Oh shoot, I'm trying to think of we could jailbreak it and install like some emulators.
We could use them as a tasteful hat rack.
That's for the museum to use them for. But so I'm trying to think of. I don't want to just. But yeah. You had a thought you were going to share, Austin, there, or?
I was just gonna say, since you rolled so well, 21 and 22, I was gonna just give you like some additional information on the Surlon homeworld you can look over. Like, we don't need to get into it now, but just like, schematics and cultural information, stuff you can show the team when you all meet back up.
Really, face just kind of looks like a butthole. Just
don't put that out in the universe.
It's true though.
Max is like, well, I will. In that case, I will make sure that we do our best to keep this chassis looking as good as it can, and assuming that we're able to have a home to return to in Seoul, we will make sure to deliver you to the proper museum.
Thank you again, and good luck on your adventure.
Thank you, and I hope you can finally rest easy. And then they slump back a little bit in their chair, just thinking, this whole thing is just getting wilder with this Formith stuff. All right, time to prep up this dossier for everyone. And then they're going to go probably chat up with Cammy and get things together to present about the Sirlons.
Beaufort, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I think whatever you're trying to do, Ophelia is yelling at you about how you're going to spin the torture stuff and the IFF stuff with the fleet and with Trizzy building an unauthorized engine. She's taking it out on you because you're like the face of misbehaving on the ship now. But there's a lot of optics things that I've been discussing that are kind of her job. So she's like chasing you through the halls, being like, "Oi, what am I supposed to do about this? What's the headline here? Like, unhinged robot tortures head for years? Peace achieved. What am I supposed to do with this?"
Well, frankly, that sounded like a pretty good headline.
And then Render, who's the only employee of the PR situation, is like trying to pull her off of you and like, I'm gonna fix it. So that, I don't know, is there anything you want to achieve? Because usually your downtime scenes are with your sister, but I feel like she's avoiding you because she's mad, and it's if anything, Render or Ophelia who you need to allay.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that it was probably either going to be Bridget or Wendy, but she's unconscious right now because of the current situation. Beaufort is going to, I guess, sit back in one of these very comparatively small chairs, probably in this PR HR office, and go, all right, let's take this step by step here. Number one, we have the decapitated head. Yeah, it's a problem. You're worried about the IFF situation. You can spin. Well, no, we can't. Well, hold on. Question. Beaufort is taking out a Sharpie. He's just started making notes on the wall because he needs to map everything out and see it visually.
Wanker, what are you doing? On my wall?
Just spray it down afterwards. It's fine. So if we can't reveal in the past what has occurred to the wider universe when we go back in time, can we reveal in the current time when we get back / just catch up what has occurred? Because I think leading with, hey, we averted the collapse of the timeline and also effective, probably illithid genocide, is a good way to kind of cover up some of the other issues.
Yeah, so if you're sitting at a chair in Ophelia's office, like Render's posted up sitting on like the edge of the desk and is like, all right, what kind of campaign are you envisioning for we saved reality, but there's no proof? How do you expect people to believe that? What do they do with that information?
What if I wore a body cam and just recorded the entire thing?
Holy fuck. Every time I think I know where this season's going. Oh my god. Can you roll persuasion?
Sure. It's not something I'm good at, but sure.
Holy shit.
10.
No, Render smacks the marker out of your hand you were using to write on the wall. It says, be serious.
Trizzy is unfortunately not around for Flash of Genius, because there's still some Flash of Geniuses left.
Hold on, do I even have one left? Let me see.
Can Trizzy just be walking by and be like, boop?
Nah, I'm full on Flash of Genius. I think Beaufort would defend his plan like, look, it's an honest statement of, frankly, we could leak it as a government secret, and that would honestly probably get people to believe it more than if we just outright said it.
Ophelia says, Who do you think I work for?
A ice cream corporation.
Exactly. How do you think their stock price is going to fare if you have streamed footage of you killing people?
Well, we don't really know that's exactly what's going to be occurring. And I did not... You can make a sizzle reel.
You kill people constantly. Also, if we don't have the raw, uncut footage, people will just say it's doctored. We need the source footage, and you can't stop killing and maiming.
I take objection to that. I have spared an unconscionable amount of people compared to my normal day-to-day routine.
You know that's worse, right? You know that's not convincing. It's not persuasive that you used to kill more people.
Frankly, I think it's... Frankly, I agree. I should be killing more people than I am right now.
Oh my god. Look, my job is to protect Lickums. If you want Gubbins Triple S to be the face of interdimensional murder, then that's on you and your investors.
Okay, hold on. Let me think here. So her only concern is defending Lickums, really. That it's... Does she... I guess this has never been something I've directly asked. Does Ophelia care about the peace mission? Or is she just here for Lickums?
Roll insight.
7, I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's hard to read. I will say I asked Laura off camera. I said, okay, are you doing anything with Ophelia, like her character arc? I don't know what's going to go. I feel, because I just wanted the option that if something did threaten the Lickums brand, I wanted her to be able to like jump to its defense in a way that I wasn't comfortable with not asking for permission for.
It's one of those, me and Austin deliberately didn't talk too much about character stuff of what we were doing with characters in our own halves of the campaign, other than to occasionally do what Austin did with Ophelia and go, do you have any plans that, like, I would be derailing if I were to do something wild with Ophelia? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You can have that one.
Yeah. In character, Beaufort, you don't know exactly what her whole situation is. Just me and you sitting at a table, I will say that, HR works for the company, not for the employees. Their job is to protect them from legal liability. So, but
Okay.
You don't know that.
I think Beaufort will posit. I can take the heat for the head thing. That's fine. That's the sort of thing my company... I mean, I've been murdering people all across the fringes of space for years under pretty known standards. Here's the thing. A lot of governments will allow it if you're getting rid of problem elements. So I can deal with that.
You probably shouldn't have mentioned that to me. I feel like
I killed pirates that attacked me. It's self-defense, completely legal. So I ripped them in half. Big whoop.
I know, but asked under zone of truth if I know about that in a court of law, and now I have to say yes. Like it helps if I can say I don't know. Is all I'm saying. You don't confess to any other crimes in my office, please.
Anyway, I can take that. I can take any heat coming from going back in time and fighting our way through everything. What are the other issues that she's dealing with? Frankly, I can probably spin it for the reputation of the company as dealing with issues. As for, I don't know, the black hole drive, I didn't do that. What do you want me to say about this?
No, I
didn't steal the ship's weapons and sell it for graphene.
Yeah, no, those are more of Trizzy's issues that she was just had on her mind. She doesn't really, you don't need to answer for Trizzy's actions. But the other thing, yeah, the siding with Drakus. That's her other concern. I mean, it's the PR is really Render. She's HR, but they're just both in the meeting together. So yeah, I think it's Render who's like, oh, you're making friends with the fucking enemy in the Civil War? What am I supposed to do about that?
Isn't that the literal purpose of this mission? Spin it like that. A potential calming of tensions to work together for a shared goal.
God damn it, that is a good... Render and Austin say both. Damn it. That's a good point. Yeah.
Doesn't matter the context. If we were able to meet peacefully and leave peacefully, good.
Also, is there, like, HR confidentiality? Is HR confidentiality a thing? I cannot be compelled to share HR secrets.
Or it's like, yeah, I like, listen, I'm going to invoke my war criminal and HR confidentiality here, just to make.
Wasn't at war. Wasn't at war. It wasn't illegal.
She is not legal counsel, so probably there's no confidentiality, and if there was, you would have had to sign it away to Lickums to be on their ship. I know that's a cynical answer, but I think that's the truth.
I mean, I trust that is the truth because you were a lawyer. You were a legal person.
I was legally a person, yeah. But I think this is good. I think if you're willing to take the heat for the decapitation stuff and take it to Gubbins, your family's company, and if you can spin it, that you allied with Dracus in the name of peace, I think that works, especially with Cecilia's coded message. I think I would be a lot more hesitant without that to say that we can do this.
I think it also makes sense in care. Like Beaufort has been killing people for years. It's expressly what he does in the most brutal way possible. This is absolutely something that their legal team would be aware of and have to have contingencies for. Whether that is because they ship things that people probably don't want getting out that are being shipped for, like, I don't know, high profile clients, governments, etc., or what have you. They have some way to leverage the situation to deal with it. There's going to be consequences, but he can manage it better than an ice cream company.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I think that works. Is there anything else you want to talk about or anything else you want to establish this scene before Yaush wakes up?
Well, this isn't Beaufort's room, so he can't establish, like, another ant farm. I guess how far along his conversion is, I think by this point he's just, like, a little bit of torso in his head left.
Okay. During this conversation, are you just, like, switching out parts and tuning up after the fight, and it's just, like, it's very obvious to the other people in this room that there's just, like, very little of flesh left?
I think it probably makes more. This was probably done in, like, the last downtime that it just wasn't established. What Beaver's probably focusing on right now is preparing Wendy's prosthetic. That's, like, his real concern. If he has no way to figure out exactly what happened back in Seoul to make an action plan, then the immediate issue to deal with is the fact that Wendy has lost her wings.
Yeah. I was going to say they maybe roll for it, but I mean, there's no time pressure necessarily, so I think you can just tinker. But that is...
I do also just have a feature that does it.
Well, there you go. I was going to say that is a great segue, because what I want for St. Cecilia is to visit Wendy in the infirmary, because you cut off her wings.
Mm-hmm. I'd assume I'd already have just been there. I'm just waiting to make sure she wakes up.
Yeah, that's like the cut is from Beaufort tinkering with some mechanical wings to the harsh antiseptic lights of Med Bay, you sitting by the bed. Clearly you've been there for a while. Like Lisa comes in and brings you coffee, pats your head and walks back out.
Blood coffee.
Bloffy.
Bloffy.
Zero effort.
Which, honestly, terrible brand name. Nobody loves Bloffy, but it's really the only alternative on the market.
Yeah.
Clued.
Clued. I was literally thinking Clued. Was the other one. But yeah, Mathers is probably like playing with some medical equipment in the background that he shouldn't be. Just like shooting lasers.
Mathers got into the IV blood bag.
Yeah, just raiding the blood stores like it's a snack pantry.
He's just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Ocean Slay, juice,
And Wendy just says, Cece, I'm going to kick your ass.
Oh, yeah?
Let me at him.
Right. I don't think you're kicking a lot of the ass right now.
Brace yourself.
I'm going to lean my face in case she wants to go for a big hit.
21. She punches you square in the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that was going to work, but that's very
Does
funny.
she rage?
She's too tired to rage. She does punch you in the face. I think the way this works is she's unarmed, so you just take her strength modifier, which is like, 4 damage?
Okay.
But yeah, she's with her tiny hand, surprisingly fierce punch to the face. And she says,
You still got it, kiddo,
Yeah, when I'm gonna get a jetpack, I am gonna fly up your nose and into your bod. I'm gonna get so wild in there, Cece. I'm gonna. Did you ever see the movie Blade, where there's a blood nightclub? I'm gonna do that to your insides.
I mean, there's a lot of fiction that has involved people going inside of people, Muppet Babies for one, but, I guess you could have gone with that one. That's okay. I'm just happy to see that you seem to be in such good spirits.
Call me Miss Frizzle, because I'm going to do the Magic School Bus episode where they go in that dude's body, and I'm going to go into every system so the kids can learn about it, and then I'm going out your butthole.
I was talking to Joe about this literally today.
Oh my God.
Going out my butthole?
No, more specifically the Magic School Bus episode where they go out a kid's butthole, but yes.
I mean, better that one than the one where they get jizzed on by the fish.
That's the next time you piss me off, Cece.
I am glad to see that you are okay.
Am I okay? I ain't got no wings.
And I am sorry for that. It was not intentional.
Well, I was unconscious, so I didn't see. Was Cortazar cool at least? Did Coco kick a lot of ass? I bet it was really sick.
No. I'm so sorry. It was very embarrassing. I don't want to lie to you, but I was told he was a clown going in, and he really lived up to it.
You can't let me have anything.
I don't even think he threw out the shield. I think he just went straight down.
Not even a change in management could save this character.
He got knocked out by his own shield. What
Roll initiative, CC. I'm gonna beat your ass. She tries to sit up and can't.
I am sorry. I did not want to do anything like that. It was a heat of moment. But if I had been more skilled, perhaps it wouldn't have come to that.
Well, at least you killed Drakus, right?
Saint Cecilia looks so upset as she stares off into the middle distance with that.
Mathers, can you come here? Can you eat CZ for me?
If we killed Drakus, the Resubian would have been destroyed.
What? No, wouldn't you say it was me? That's the whole point. That's why we didn't tell you. We defected. We're bad guys. It's fine. This was the whole point.
It's not as clean and simple as saying I've defected, so no more heat on the Resubian.
We have a whole PR department. It's like 2 guys.
One of them left.
Fuck.
You haven't been paying attention. Dot's been gone for a while.
Wait, what happened to Dot?
Dot left. Dot became an illithid and pieced out.
Oh my
They're
God.
living a pretty happy life.
Oh my God, she still has my Yu Yu Hakusho DVDs.
Wait, do you know that Bill Webb's gone too?
Yeah, well, yes, I was there for that. I just forgot about Dot loved me. I thought we were close. What the fuck?
Oh. Well, I mean, I think she might have left you something. Let me check behind in the bag, and I want to reach in and be like into a medical drawer and be like, she left you this medical tape. She said that she thought she would need it.
Oh my God. First, I lose my wigs, and then Drakus is still alive, and now Dot's gone? Well, this has been the worst day of my life.
If it helps, we are actively attempting to undermine Drakus where we can.
Yeah, you could have undermined him with a gun. Would that have been so much to ask?
I wanted to. Cecilia just looks tired.
Oh my God. I wasn't even conscious for the fight, so it doesn't count. You know that, right? You didn't beat me.
I mean, it was also 4 on... She's about to say 2, and then she stops and says, it was like a 4-on-1, so the odds are really against you in that play.
Oh my God, Coco getting washed. She absolutely did throw up a shield that blocked an attack, for the record.
Then a shield got shot, and the shield hit him in the face and knocked him out, you know?
Sure, he definitely got his shield up. It's that cool thing we all remember about Cortazar.
I want a rematch, Cece.
Once you get your new wings, absolutely.
Where am I going to get new wings?
I believe Beaufort is working on them already. He was taking measurements, so he either was getting ready for new wings or doing something creepy. It could be either.
Oh my gosh.
I bet it's wings. I'm almost positive it's wings.
Thank the Elder Brain for Gub Gub. At least I have a real friend around here. I bet if he was there, he would have killed Drakus. There's no way he would have betrayed me and let Drakus live.
All of us were there. It was myself,
Oh my god!
Bird, Trizzy, Max.
Give me a single thing, Cecilia!
I just don't see what really helps you by lying about this.
Ah.
I mean, is there anything you would like to tell us? It sounds like you've been working against the peace mission for a while.
Yeah, to winning the war. I don't want a peace with these fucking assholes. I want to win.
And then why are you on the Resubian to begin with?
Because you have resources that got me close to Drakus. Literally, because I wanted the thing to happen that happened. Except for, at the literal last moment, no one pulled the trigger. Everything else went perfectly. You can't question the plan. The plan went great.
You got mind controlled.
Oh, details. Like,
I feel like you're playing in the pretty big hole. If we weren't there, you'd just be Drakus slaves at this point.
but I knew that Max and Gub Gub would come for me because they're real homies who would never cut off my wings.
So Wendy, instead of being like, I'll bring people to help me save the day, I'll deliberately lose so that they'll come and save me, but not know that what the plan is, and then I'll be upset at them for not following the plan I didn't tell them.
Wendy is just yelling, I didn't get owned! I didn't get owned!
Sinking further and further into a corn cob.
It really all went to plan if you think about it. If we think about it, it went by without a hitch.
Someone needs to tell her that she's giving off big Cortazar energy right now.
Oh. Oh, no.
You see in her medical charts, Dr. Joven has wrote corn cob and underlined it.
Wendy, I feel as though you thought you had like a great plan, but unfortunately, none of us were filled in. And when we tried to connect with you, you sent us flying into space.
What? I didn't send anyone into space.
We tried to board your ship, and you sent us packing.
Okay, that didn't happen to me, so you realize that wasn't me, right?
So you were already mind controlled before you even got there, then.
No, I got there. Okay. I got there and I shot him, and then that's the last thing I remember. So anything that happened after that wasn't me.
Wendy got into the room, shot Drakus in the face, and then Drakus just mind hopped into their bodies and got back in the thumper.
Then they went back into space?
Yeah, to kill you all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is unfortunate. I guess since we're already ripping off band-aids, I think Rommel's dead. So, just giving you the heads up on that.
Oh my god. Did he say anything cool when he died? Does it like tell Wendy I was wrong and a big doo-doo head?
Do I need the human roll a history check? I don't remember if he said anything. I just remember us describing him dying a bunch of different ways.
No, I think it's funny here if Cecilia straight up doesn't remember.
It's just like, he might have said something, but we kind of like drop kicked him into space and he went flying pretty quickly. We were on the train at that point.
I gave you like 5 chances to lie to save my feelings, Cece, and you swerved every single one of them. You were like Cortazar with a shield, blocking every single thing perfectly and handsomely.
I wish Cortazar did that. I just feel like lies are like a bad thing to have. We should have the truth between us, you know?
I mean, how does this end now, Cece? I have to destroy you.
Destroy me. Why me in particular?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there somebody else who cut off my wings?
I mean, You can have a grudge, I guess. That's like a thing they've had before. But it's kind of tacky at this point. I think your focus should be on trying to help out the resistance as much as possible.
Okay, well then that sounds like you're asking for stakes of the duel we're gonna have. If you win, I can help the resistance. What happens if I win?
What would you like?
I would like you to bend over backwards and kiss your own butt.
Can I pick up a pillow and just push it over?
Saint Cecilia should totally take this fight, because without wings, Wendy now has to use the that weapon that no one uses in D&D, because if you can't fly, it sucks to use.
I mean, do you jokingly put a pillow on top of her?
Yeah, I want to show how easily she's defeated at this point.
Oh, what a champ.
I mean, I don't know. I think Wendy has a lot of very bad points, but I also think her anger is reasonable. I don't think she's being completely out of pocket.
Fine. Once you get, rested and you get your strength back, because otherwise it's just not even a fair contest.
All right, it's a deal. Cortazar is a witness. Cortazar is extremely unconscious.
Yeah, he's really thriving right now. There's a moment where Saint Cecilia's like, I know he's not dying, but pulling the plug does feel like mercy at this point.
Yeah, you pull the plug and nothing turns off because he's not hooked up to anything.
Is it like
Damn.
The heart rate monitor just plugged into something to make it seem like he's about to die? It's just like,
can I do suggestion? Get rid of the shields. It's not working. Do something else, like hypnosis while he's unconscious.
I like the idea of Cecilia, after the scene is over, you leave, and Mathers knocks something off a high shelf and it falls, and then Cortazar, unconscious but reflexes so honed, blocks it perfectly with a shield.
You have to roll to do that because I don't believe it otherwise. And if he fails, he knocks that fucking thing into his face and knocks himself even more unconscious.
All right, yes, perfect. It's gonna be a dexterity saving throw. Yeah, but the idea is he's actually extremely good, but just not when anybody's watching. All right, what should be the DC for this?
15. He needs a shot. The guy needs a win.
All right, here we go. 18!
Barely, but all right. Good job, bud.
The only person that sees this, Barry. Only one.
Okay. All right, you all get a message from Captain Slack-Demille.
Attention, Tully's monsters. Yaush is awake and ready to talk.
I think there's a moment where Saint Cecilia's like, oh, right. I think that's me. Yeah, I think that's the team name I'm on right now.
Uh-huh. Mathers picks you up and floats towards the room.
Yeah, I'm actually tired. Saint Cecilia is she has a level of exhaustion, but I think she does just seem drained mentally at this point.
Yeah, it's been a long arc. You all get to the room that used to belong to Dot. It's still decorated very garishly. It's like a hot topic in here. Yaush is in the bed. He's a big orb, so he's laying strangely, but he is just weeping blood now constantly. Just even if during his conversation, whenever he talks, that is just happening.
Hey.
How are you feeling, buddy?
Never been better. Ready to take you out. All seven of however many, blurry vision. I'm unstoppable and invincible.
Hey, can we just we should probably just start with this. We know what your plan is.
Congratulations. Now you know I can't be stopped, and now we're all on the same side, beholders and soul, hand in hand for all time.
I don't know. I'm looking at you right now. You look like you could be stopped.
Wait. Hand in hand? I mean, is that meant to be a metaphor on your part there, or it's just
He shoots a fucking beam at you.
Go ahead and roll the beam. Go ahead,
I
do
hope
it.
it's a death ray.
It's a dexterity saving throw from you, actually, is what it is.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get the character sheet pulled up here so I can die from this. Let's see here. Here we go. Dexterity saving throw. 21.
All right, yeah, you save whatever the ray that was. It shoots harmlessly into the wall, completely destroys, like a big Pikachu plush. Its death ray disintegrates it.
I'll just ask the question to Yaush. Yaush, do you know what an inevitable is?
Yeah, the clocks, the really angry clocks. They shoot lasers.
So you think, in your current state, you can go back, save all of reality, and defeat whatever comes to kill you? And get the word out that you did it?
Oh no, I never thought of that before. I guess I changed my mind. You're right, fucking Jagoff.
Okay, you have been watching too much edgy anime, young man, and I'm going to turn off the TV.
Oh no, I was just getting to the good part.
The bounce will come back later. Right now, we need to have a conversation.
Listen,
And all
when
of
the
their
inevitables-
wild hairstyles are doing something to your imagination.
Listen, when the inevitables come, the entire soul system will fly to my aid. They'll trip over themselves to defend me. They're strong, but they're not inevitable.
It's kind of in the name, friend.
Yeah, they kind of literally are, though.
Yeah, you know what else is inevitable is all the nukes of your navy. So I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Okay, well, yeah, you're sort of implying that we can't go back and save the world.
You don't know how.
Like, if we can work it out, just go back and go, hey, don't fuck up the markets or whatever.
Blood spraying all over the bed with that laugh. Just like you're watching a dying man. He has a huge gouge in the side of the head where a away team tried to rip open his skull. This is like it's like actively like really upsetting to watch him die as he says this to you. He says, "You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You can't do it without me."
And even if we bring you back, you are literally minutes from death. So like, if you want Soul to be saved, just tell us what to do to save Soul, and we prevent you from dying in agony, I guess.
No, that's the funny thing. Is your next quest. You have to save my life.
How do we do that?
That's if I knew, I wouldn't be here bleeding everywhere. That's your problem.
And like, give us any reason to believe you know what we would need to know to save the world.
That's the great thing about the situation is I don't have to prove anything to you. You don't have any leverage. If I die, you and everyone here dies. I've already won.
I think we have the leverage that is, if we kill you, you don't use the having traveled back in time to like completely rewrite time, and we still get to take like a pretty good stab at trying to save the world ourselves. It feels like we have an alternative option.
It's so cute that you're trying. It's adorable. I tried to tell the other beholders that the other species have value, and they don't believe me. But look, you're so funny. Look, I swear you deserve to live. You're amusing. I don't. They'll probably never agree with me, but I really believe it in my heart.
Hold on a second. You've talked to other beholders. In fact, we've seen this. Other beholders don't care about your plan. If we save you, why don't you just fuck off? This is all starting because you've been hurt, lashing out at everything, and trying this frankly insane scheme to bring a species that doesn't seem to want to join the fold into the fold.
Who hurt me, Beaufort Gubbins?
Yeah, mind flayers.
Then you know why. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop until I'm in every single one of their brains too. I'm going fully balls deep in their brain meat.
So you want to be a mind witness?
as you say that, like just some kind of ooze or pus or something coming out of the wound, and he says, "That seems like it's already starting. It might be out of my hands, Doctor."
Max just bites their tongue at the hands comment there.
Yeah, I can't stop doing fucking idioms. I was gonna say instead of balls deep, he should have said stalks deep. I'm gonna be stalks deep in their brain matter.
So here's a question. Beaufort, his whole thing is cybernetic shit. Could we extract the tadpole from his head, and then Beaufort just tries to rebuild the rest of his brain with cybernetics?
It's possible. It would be there would be roles involved, and it would be pretty hard for me to say anything but like a failure just means the campaign ends and everyone dies, which I don't like to do. But it feels like being honest with the fiction, so I would say probably last resort.
So, brass tacks. Do you actually believe any beholders are gonna what? So, but hold on. Yeah. How do I want to put this? We've established that pretty much all of their are there any beholders that actually want to join him that we've gathered? Because the only one we've met was Beshk, and Beshk only did it because he was physically threatened.
I would say, yeah, it's a very fringe political ideology to trying to have any kind of cooperation. I'm not going to say there's none because they're all thinking sapient beings, but it polls very low.
Mm-hmm. It seems like, yeah, he just wants to kill illithids. I mean, no, we'd already pitched. Why don't you just join Grice and kill Drakus?
Part of my thought is just like the idea is that you go into the past and you kind of rewrite, things. So you're basically past lighting things in order to make people in the future to be on board by just, oh yeah, this is how things are, So it's a temporal gaslighting. I'm sort of framing this as in my head as to what the plan is.
You and everyone you know and all your ancestors and all your future progeny will love beholders. You'll worship us, and we will tolerate you. It's like having an annoying yappy dog. It'll be cute.
Are you even gonna make merchandise like little plushes and stuff?
Really sounded like a mind flayer there, friend.
Yeah, you're really not doing a great job of suggesting this is a better plan for us than just winging it and hoping we can fix time ourselves. Like, you've given us literally no reason to believe you have any knowledge that is going to help us save time. All that you have given us is, oh yeah, if you go with me, you'll all be obedient to the beholders. You could, tell us anything that suggests that you actually know anything that helps us.
Yaosh puts like two eyeballs up in your face. Trizzy like really close to the end of the stalks and just whispers, "Suck my balls."
Wait, I have a question here. We're dealing with a potential time loop scenario, right? Where we're trying to, our goal is to try to grandfather Paradox ourselves into here. I guess this is the sort of nature of a time travel thing of when does it actually occur? I'm wondering if there is evidence in the universe of what Yaush has theoretically already done in the past, or that Yaush has already gone back in time and then fully did.
Oh shit. Fuck me. This is like your third thing today that I've just blindsided me. Yeah, if
I'm wondering if we can detect effectively a massive elder brain that isn't normal.
Or I suppose the question is, can we tell if we've already defeated Yaush in the past?
Yeah, so if this is already a stable time loop, you've already gone back and saved the world, the blackout is actually you in the back in history, then there would be something. You know what? I think that's an option. I think specifically, can I get a roll here about this? Because I actually have an idea that occurs to me along these lines.
I think Beaufort would say to Yaush, if your plan is to go back in time and change everything, shouldn't you be seeing the effects already?
Yeah, can I get intimidation to drive the point home? Because right now he's just like,
Okay.
He's just like, whatever, you can't do anything to me. I'm untouchable. Fuck you, suck my balls. His eyeballs, to be clear.
All right.
So let's get intimidation.
Yeah, I'm gonna lick those eyeballs. Give me. I'm gonna need that flash of genius, Trizzy.
Oh, have that flash.
That's a 2.
I can't give you more than one flash, can I, at a time? No.
Nah. I could put guidance on myself, but that doesn't matter.
Intimidation. Okay.
That's a 16 from Max there.
17 from Trizzy.
Flash of Genius, that to a 22.
Actually, yeah, you know what? Flash of Genius that to a 23?
23, right. Yeah.
Yeah, 23.
All right. So we'll need to paint this picture in a second here. My thought is that basically now there's 2 possible missions here. There's going to the planet of the Surlons, try to see what they know, and like you see the homeworld of the Formyth. Or 2, which is that when you say to Yaush that why isn't there any proof that you've already saved the world in this timeline, he could say, well, if I got back from that adventure and I had saved Beholder Kind, I know where I would go. I'll send you there. Do you want to check and see if future me is there?
Only if you come with us.
Deal. I'm gonna need you. Someone's gonna have to probably help me breathe soon. So one of you's gonna have to be on chest compression duty. I don't have a chest. You're gonna squeeze my ball.
It's got to be a better way to phrase that.
Yeah.
Orb? Can we say orb sphere, maybe?
Yeah, get a good squeeze on this orb. What's this intimidation look like? Because you succeed, okay? So we're giving you some options here. What his pitch was, save my life. Go on a quest to figure out how to keep me from dying. That was one. Then Max rolled really well, got a second option. Go to the planet of the Surlons, ask them what they're up to. Although they seem to be bad dudes who are building a bad army, so that's scary. And now there's a third option. Go to Yaush's home. He's going to tell you now that I would have gone back to where all Beholder Kind started, our home planet. And that's the third option for how to proceed.
Well, getting him off the Rezubian is the number one priority. That immediately stops having our entire crew be held hostage.
That makes sense. He is reticent to give up that leverage, but you did roll really well. So also, probably hard to think when you were just
dying.
Literally, hours maybe from dying.
Well, if I may make a suggestion, I think the bigger threat to him is that the only way you can confirm that your current plan works is proof that you survived it already.
Yeah.
Or else you have to change your plan.
You might want to bring a first aid kit. I don't know how much more time I have.
My bandages. Mathers pops up. Can Mathers be like, hey, Dad? And just put little band-aids on him?
Absolutely, yeah. The last image of the episode is just putting cute little sticker bandages. What's on them? Is it Sailor Moon characters? Is it Luna?
They're hot dogs. They're all shaped like little hot dogs. He's like, you need to wean the for your eye stalk. And then he puts it right over the eye. Not intentionally. He's just that's where it looks like it hurts.
Okay.
Can I make one more suggestion? I think Beaufort says, "Don't worry, I think I can keep you alive." And then the camera pans down to the fucking werewolf regeneration syringe he's been carrying around for 3 arcs.
I do think that Max would want to pull everyone aside for a moment away from Yaush for just a moment to disclose what they had learned from the Warforged about how supposedly the Surlons know what has happened at Sol. Basically, they know what has happened, so that could give us a lead if we want to go back in time to win/where we are aiming to go. But they don't want to say that around Yaush because they don't know whether or not Yaush knows what happened in the past or not. So that was just sort of my rationale for that exchange there.
Look, this will get a bit confusing for me. Once we know where and when we want to go and why, just point me at a day and time, and I'm pretty sure I can wrangle this thing to get us there.
Oh, I'm not worried about that necessarily. I'm just if we're gonna I guess, do we leave Yaush in one location and head straight for the Surlons to figure out what's going on, or I guess that's what we're gonna have to do, right?
I think one thing at a time. Let's work out whether we've already fucked up and the beholders are already on the path to completely being in charge of all of reality.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work out whether that's already happened or not.
Right.
I need to stop thinking. I keep thinking about paradoxes I could create. If this is if the villain's plan has already happened, I keep thinking of ways that I could stop the villain's plan that has already happened from happening. I need to not think about this because I'm gonna fuck up time so bad. I'm gonna fuck up time so much if you let me think about it. Tell me where to go and I'll do it.
Right. Well, I don't know where or when yet, but all I'm saying is that I have a potential lead for us to figure that out.
Okay.
So,
well,
let's.
When you know. Let me know. Until then, I will try and resist thinking about how I could stop a thing that has already happened. Because that just seems really fun.
I think Cecilia is there for the conversation and kind of just seems kind of quiet to it, processing more information on top of things, and just sort of kind of gives okay, as she's adding another layer to this mission that already still feels a little overwhelming to her.
It's a lot, right? It's a lot.
I signed up for a peace mission. This is super heroics, I would have done different regiment of training to prepare for this.
Right. I thought I was just making a cool ship that was going to fly through space and time, for fun recreational purposes. I was not ready for consequences.
Yeah, so I think the way this goes is everyone, shuffles out of the room, and Beaufort, goes to leave, and then he just lets the door shut with I believe we've established it's a lightning crack sound effect. Is that it? A scary lightning sound effect?
I think that's one of the options you can set it to.
Beaufort's gonna turn to Yaush, and he sort of looks at him for a second before detaching his mask and kind of slumping down into, I guess, a beanbag chair.
Mm-hmm. It's a big Snorlax.
Yeah, and he tenses, he's knits his fingers together and rests his elbows on his knees and says, "I'm gonna offer you something here. Something that was never afforded to me. I'm just gonna talk to you."
Nobody's ever talked to you before? Why wasn't that afforded to you? Your culture is so cruel.
More how would I put this? I think I might be one of the few people around here that has any inkling of an idea of what you're going through right now.
Oh, because you save your sister like a hero the way I'm trying to save all beholders? We have a heroic bond?
No. You were hurt worse than you could have ever possibly imagined. And you took that pain, and you took that anger, and you made it into a weapon. And now you're taking it out on everyone who could have possibly ever hurt you.
I thought you did that to yourself. Gesturing with eye stalks to all your cybernetic enhancements. I didn't do any of this. Pointing to his head wound. Well, I guess he did. Never mind. I guess he did zap himself trying to get the tadpole out. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, and to that, Beaufort says, no, just like you, I added this. And then he's going to click something on his shoulder to detach his arm and point to his like original burn scars from when he first lost it and said, this is what was done to me.
Were you also captured by mind flayers and experimented on, or you stayed out under the Martian sun too long? I can't tell from over here what the burns are.
There was a pirate roaming around the wastes when I was young. Hit my ship. I was about, 13 at the time. It was all hands on deck. We hid in the cargo hold. Details don't matter. He got me around the neck, was choking the life out of me. And then I saw he had a grenade on his waist. Then I saw he had a grenade on his little utility belt. And I pulled the pin.
Hands are wasted on humans. If I had hands, the strategies I could have employed. What you needed is some eye stalks. Very flexible. You could have shot behind yourself.
Yes, I could have. I woke up a month later in a hospital, and I told myself I was never going to let this happen again. So I fought for a while. Killed everything that stood in my way. I ripped out every little piece of weakness and fear, placed it with steel. Told myself if they just left me alone, I'd be happy. 2 decades later, they finally stopped fighting me. And I had no idea what to do with my life. So I'm not trying to judge you, not trying to change your plans. You succeed at this. You kill every mind flayer, make them part of you, whatever your end goal is. You've taken over the galaxy. Are you really going to be happy?
How funny would it be if Yash is like, no, damn, you're right, I'll never be happy. Never mind, forget this. Credits roll.
Sometimes you've got to at least attempt talk no jutsu. You got to try and just talk the problem away.
Yeah, I don't think Beaufort's even trying to really talk him out of it. He's on some level trying to be like, does Yaush know something that he doesn't? Like, in a way to, like, will Yaush figure out the answer to the problem that he fucked up?
I think Yaush says, I think you just misunderstand. I'm not trying to take over the galaxy. When I succeed, they'll try to give it to me. I won't need to take anything. And when I'm gone, they'll build statues of me. Every beholder thinks it's the epitome of beholder kind. But I'm the only one who's right.
But are you going to be happy?
No. But it won't matter. I'll win.
Yeah. I thought that too. And he's just going to leave the room.